Bueno, amigos, qué placer. Estamos con uno de los grandes artistas marciales de este momento, Shane Burgos, que todavía está fresco su contrato con PFL. Va a pelear contra otro peleador muy bueno, Marlon Moraes, el 25 de noviembre en PFL, la cartelera más importante de PFL en el año. Well, my friends, we are here with Shane Burgos, one of the most important fighters at this time in MMA, who is going to debut in PFL November 26th against Marlon Moraes. Shane's, it's a new world for you. It's a new company. How do you, can you take us through all the process to sign with PFL?
Yeah, man, it's completely new for me because before I was in the UFC, I was 7-0, and now the majority of my fights have been in the UFC. I've had 11 fights in the UFC now, so it's completely new. It's completely I guess you can say out of my comfort zone, but I like that. I feel like that's what life is all about, is stepping outside of your comfort zone. But what led me to it was I planned on re-signing with the UFC. Like that was my goal, and then my manager came back telling me that the PFL really wanted me. Then he started giving me offers, and then the offer that I finally got, this last offer, was just one of those offers I couldn't refuse. That offer, it was one of those too good to be true, so I had to take him up on it.
There's people saying that right now PFL is the second promotion in the US, but they point at your signing at the turning point, because they say they used to sign people who wouldn't get there or people who was over the hill, but
Yeah.
you are in your prime. This is the real first signing of them that put someone with caliber in his fighting. What do you think you're signing as what it means for the company?
Yeah, completely agree. I feel like it's a little bit of like a trailblazing move. Like you haven't seen a move like this really be done. It's usually guys going from another organization coming over to the UFC. Not really seeing guys leave the UFC, especially on a winning streak, and not leaving the UFC because they were cut, but leaving the UFC because they chose to do so. I don't think it's ever been done from a ranked fighter, at least. So like I said, I feel like I'm trailblazing a little bit here.
When Dana White, and we know that Dana White is very controversial sometimes, but when Dana White said, and I believe him, that he lamented the way that you went away for the other company, that they use the word "fuck up" with you. What did he mean by that? Where and when they did fuck up with you?
I don't know. You have to probably get my manager or somebody or get Dana in on that interview. I don't know how to. I don't know. All I can say is that the offer I got was just one of those offers that I was like, I can't say no to this offer. I just can't say no to it. And I love being in the UFC. I love everything about the UFC. I owe my where I'm at now and what I was able to get from the PFL is because of the UFC. But I'm ready to take the PFL by storm and make my claim here.
Now UFC have some way to do fights, and PFL have another way with these tournaments and brackets and classifications. What do you think about that structure to earn $1 million at the end?
I mean, $1 million, that's life-changing money, right? That and the best part about it is that it's in sight. For all the fighters that are signed, it's in sight. What I mean by that is you have your 2 fights postseason before you get seeded, and then you win those 5 fights total and you win your $1 million. So there's no guessing of who you're fighting next. The bracket is bracketed so you can actually see it. It's not like it's a popularity contest. 2 best guys are going to fight at the end of the tournament, and the best guy overall is going to win that $1 million and take that home. So I do love the structure of that, and I do love the challenge of the tournament system, because 5 fights in a year, that's a challenge.
And also, of course, you see yourself as a champion. You see yourself as a millionaire, no?
Yeah, of course, yeah, multi-million.
You were one of the producers of one of the most entertaining fights in the history in your career in UFC. I remember the fight, Josh Emmett, Willie Corantillo, Barboza, so many fights that you win or lose, and you lose few fights, 3 fights, just you always give your best and always give your best image to the public. Do you feel that you can be the face of PFL with your style of fighting?
100%. I really do think that, because you watch any of those fights, like, I mean, any of my fights in the UFC, they've all been exciting. They've all been these crazy fights. Even the fights that I didn't get fight of the night in have been really exciting fights. And I don't, like, when I'm going into these fights, I'm not going in with the thought of, let me get this fight of the night. I'm never, ever thinking that. That's just the way it happens, and just the way I fight. When the referee says go, I take it as, you got 3 rounds. That's 3 separate fights to try to finish the guy. and it just the way I approach the fight just turns out to be fucking exciting for all the fans. So I think that the PFL loves that. Obviously, they're investing in me, and I plan on giving them their investment, making their investment worth it.
When you see your career since the beginning, and you're fighting a lot since you were younger, when you go through your career, are you happy what you have done? Are you unhappy? How do you resume? How do you summarize your career?
As of right now?
Yeah.
No, as of right now, I'm not happy at all. I mean, okay, I can't say I'm not happy at all, because I live a great life, and I've been able to do what I wanted to do since I was a 14, 15-year-old kid, and I'm living my dream. So I am happy in that regard, but I'm a sore loser, and I have lost fights. So losing fights fucking irks the shit out of me. So I'd say I'm content, but I'm not even close to completely satisfied.
What do you expect from Marlon Moraes November 25th? What kind of fight can we expect for two veterans of UFC?
I don't even need to tell you. You know what exactly you can expect for this fight. That's the fun part about the fight, and I like it because it's one of those fights like he's the biggest name and the most exciting guy I could get right off the bat. You know what I mean? Like right off the bat, you're gonna give me that name first. I don't know who else they would give me name value wise that would be bigger than that. So, but I understand why they're doing it. It's their first pay-per-view. It's gonna be a wild fight, and it's one of those fights like you know what to expect because we come every single time. The dude's super explosive. He's super fast. He's got killer instincts. It's going to be a fun fight, but I think stylistically this matchup favors me.
So you think that also, beside your signing, a turning point, this fight will be also a turning point for the company going forward?
For sure, because it's their first ever pay-per-view, so they're going to be able to gauge those numbers off of that. And I do think that putting me and him on that pay-per-view card, it's gonna make it worth it.
Well, Shane, I don't rob more of your time. Thank you for everything. We Latin people love MMA. And we wish you the best November 25th on PFL. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. Have a good one.
Gracias, Shane. Muchas gracias.